All right, welcome everybody. Can kind of see you out there. Welcome those upstairs. Hey, before we do the official kickoff for the showcase, wanted to take care of our own business as one of our all session meetings that we have, and recognize our session theme of Level Up. And really interested in how your week has been and in what ways you've leveled up, especially around those in connection. And also, maybe there's a really good example about, what, because of this week, I'm thinking about certain things differently. So we'd love to hear your story. And this is your enticement. It's not full, but.
Thank you. Yeah, yesterday in leadership intelligence, Nick asked asked a general question. Raise your hand if you think you have imposter syndrome, and the whole class raised their hand. And for me, it's just a good moment of, okay, I feel like I, needed that. Everybody kind of feels a little bit of that. I leveled up in that moment, I think.
Great to. I'm going to do him and then I'll be back down there. So is that does that end in a hugging moment of the class or anything? You didn't hug. Okay, well, there's still time.
It sounds kind of trivial, but in Susie's class, leadership, we did the DISC assessment, and it just really helped me realize we are all very different people, and knowing who everybody else is really enables much better and more effective communication. So I'm going to work on applying that.
Excellent. Thank you, Braden.
Mine will kind of go along with the first one. Being third year, coming in first year, huge imposter syndrome. I think my level of experience is understanding that as you guys go through this, you don't know everything, but not everybody else knows everything either. And you will have that moment with a younger classmate whenever they're here first or second year, and they're going to ask you a question and you're not going to have to think about it and you're going to be able to answer it. That happened 2 or 3 times this week. And I'm like, I really have learned and I am able to help and I am able to be effective. So if you're in that position, you're in the right place. The school is awesome. Thank you, guys.
Nick Popwell. I'm a second-year direct, and I'm going to hit on emotional intelligence as well. I thought Jim's class day was very, deep in a good way, but one of his quotes that stuck with me was, to lead others, you have to lead yourself. And I think we really think about how do we be positive and uplifting and focus on our staffs. That personal, applying it to yourself, those same thoughts and concepts is extremely important. So you got to take care of number one before you can take care of anybody else. I thought that was a great reminder.
All right, so yeah, I'm Brent, and I'm actually a regulator, so give you a different perspective. So the class that's kind of spoken to me is a little different. It's data analytics, and I think for that, it can be a scary topic, right? It's a new unknown, but one way I'm leveling up, actually 2, I'll go into both. So the first one is the theme of data analytics is taking something that seems so complicated, but it's so simple. There's simple ways to make things occur, like to analyze the data, to use simple things at your disposal to make higher level decisions. But the main way that I think I've leveled up is from the regulator standpoint, being able to step onto the other side of that proverbial table. Because when we come in, it's kind of like Reagan said, you can always trust when it says, we're the government, we're here to help. And, I feel like a lot of times that's what we're seen as, is like the enemy, not the friend, not the companion that you need. But throughout this course, throughout the school, been able to hear everybody's story and just the raw stories that you have to tell, all the experiences. So then when I go back and I'm back on the other side of the table saying, well, you're doing this wrong, or hey, you're doing this right, I have a better, well-rounded understanding of that.
Thank you. All right, that was literally, literally, that was just really so inspiring that you're 4 days in, and those are the things that you have to say. And I hope that it helps everyone else. It is so inspiring. I think we all ought to come back Saturday and Sunday and just continue on. We'll wait till Monday. All right. All right. Well, welcome to the Graduate School of Banking at Colorado, here at the University of Colorado Boulder. For those of you at home, we have over 400 bankers and regulators on campus here for the next 2 weeks. And it is just a great experience to be just immersed in community banking. Can you imagine a better place to be? You could laugh. I thought that was pretty good. Anyway, it is at least for these next 2 weeks. So we are really happy to be able to host the FinTech Showcase for the 3rd year in a row. And what I would say is, you don't have to be around GSBC for very long before you know that we love the phrase Boulder banking. It's more than just a cute play on words of being in Boulder, Colorado. But what the environment is that we try to create here at GSBC, as we believe that the industry just has a unique opportunity to create and deploy the most bold solutions that best serve their communities. So how great is it for our bankers and regulators to have direct contact with people who are bringing their ideas and skills to address the most pressing needs of the industry? This type of collaboration is bold, creative, and most importantly, it's fun. So Wayne, let's get going.
Thank you, Mike. One of my favorite expressions, of course, is fortune favors the bold. And this is an industry where we need to be bold right now. There's no question about it. First of all, thanks for joining us this afternoon. We have gratitude to GSBC for allowing us to come participate. And Mike's asked me to spend a minute today talking a little bit more about the context of why we're here. We've got 6 extraordinary companies. Gentlemen, nice to see you both. Glad you could make it. We have 6 extraordinary companies and some really courageous founders who are trying to make our banks better, more profitable, more competitive, and more efficient. So let's talk a little bit about innovation to start with and what it really means. For us, it's about presenting solutions to you that allow your banks to perform better. And that's people, that's process, that's technology. It's also the capacity to make our employees more comfortable and our customers have better experiences and so forth. And that's really the premise of what we do. But for community banks today, it's not easy, right? It's not that there's a lack of interest. None of you have a lack of interest in trying to innovate by any way, shape, or form, but it's the access to resources. It's the ability to have the time to do that. It's the budget. It's all the excuses and all the reasons, and on some of them very reasonable, that it becomes difficult. We work in an industry where we have legacy partners that make access to that technology difficult, although it's getting better through things like APIs, et cetera. Lots of noise. Where do you begin? And that's really where we begin, is to help filter through some of that noise. The cost of choosing a wrong partner, right? We tend to think of bankers in the fintech side as being risk adverse. You guys are masters of risk. I think the opposite all the time, right? That's your job every day, is working to mitigate risk and to manage risk effectively. You lend money to people like me, that's pretty risky, right? The ability to modernize without risk. to be able to do the due diligence, to be able to do the third-party research that's required to help make that process easy for you. And then obviously constant pressure that comes from outside the industry to grow our banks. And let's think about that a little bit today. And, this is one of the things that's important as we think about how our bankers think about the work that we do. You guys aren't looking for innovation theater. Go to Money 2020 and Finovate and see all that. What you want is a path, a smarter path that gets you to the solutions and the issues that you're trying to resolve and the challenges that you face. Because our industry is really changing dramatically. We're doing this to support also ICBA's mission. For those of you who know ICBA, the Independent Community Bankers of America, we represent about 4,000 community banks in this country with a large focus on advocacy, education, and then we have the responsibility for the pillar of innovation. We have over 250 companies today that serve as corporate members, over 80 alums that have come through this program, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. Won the best accelerator in 2020 from Finovate. We've had thousands of bankers participate in our programming. So let's talk just real quickly, and everybody wants to be a bank, right? But the other question too is, what is a bank today? I will submit to you that a bank has become something we do versus a place that we go. And thinking about that really gets pretty profound. For a lot of our customers today, particularly as we think about the millennials and the Gen Zs, chances are they've never been in a bank and don't see a real reason for it. So we got to think more demographically than perhaps geographically. Think about the millennial and the Gen Z today and many of our customers. This is, if you don't know Ron Shevlin, I encourage you to follow him on Substack. Ron's a great critic of our industry, but also provides some great perspective. If you look in the apps, look in your own phones today, how many applications do you have that help to manage your financial lives? I would submit it's between 12 to 40. And this is also the way that we're having to compete. When we think about Robinhood 3 or 4 years ago, what was Robinhood? Fractional investment platform. What is Robinhood today? Robinhood's a bank with a credit card, a debit card, the capacity to buy CDs, money markets, et cetera. And our competition, SoFi last year opened more checking accounts in the last 12 months than community banks combined. We got 4% of that market. So our competition's eating us a little bite at a time. And in order to stay relevant, we got to be thinking about how we're innovating to remain competitive. If you look at how we're banking today, over the last 13 years, we've gone from 5.5% utilizing the mobile banking channel, not digital, not the teller, up to 55% today, right, as the primary method of bank account access. And once we get them there, what we need to solve for more than anything else today, folks, is keeping our customers, is retention. And that's the key. And this doesn't end there. We're talking retail. What about the business stack today? What about things like banking, payroll? What about, how many of you have heard of Toast, right? Toast is a restaurant application. Started as a point of sale system. We had a banker lose a loan to Toast last week. So these guys are coming after us, and I'm not trying to be gloom and doom, but just the reality of where we live today. So we have to think about this from that perspective. So what are we trying to do about this, and why are we here? We're trying to provide a platform that enables you to do this effectively, a way to connect the banks with the relevant technology that you will see today, a framework that allows you to move from being curious to being able to take action, and a signal from us at ICBA that while advocacy and education are critical to the pillars that we are, we can also be a great resource to you for education. I mean, for innovation. Thank you. Good deal. Our model's proven. We've been doing this since 2017. We've had thousands of community banks that have come through our program, and we're the only program like this really in the world that focuses 100% on community banks. Okay. This is representative of over the 80 alums that have been part of our program. Of those, 90% of them remain in business today or have been acquired. They've raised over $4 billion. They've done thousands and thousands of pitch hours, and we've done hundreds of deals. We have an incredible team. Many of you will meet them here today who will do the remaining parts of this presentation to support this, both internally and externally, to come support you wherever you are. I want to talk a little bit about how we select companies for the accelerator program and our methodology. This isn't my great team who sits in a room and says, these are cool companies, we should choose these. We do a little bit of that, but we allow our bankers to make this selection. We have our selection and advisory committee. It's composed of 30 bankers. They give us over 60 hours a year. They commit to this. They are absolutely the busiest working committee in the ICBA. Got a couple members in here actually who are part of that. They help us identify the problems. They help us build the curriculum. And they also mentor the companies. So our methodology starts with identifying the problem. What's keeping you up at night? What are you worried about? Where are there opportunities? And that gives us the themes in which we work to establish and select the companies. We source solutions, taking a few hundred applications for each program. We do this program twice a year. It's 10 weeks, January, February, March, April, May. This program, or May, June, July, rather, this program, of course, ends here, and we're grateful to be able to do this with you guys. We evaluate these few hundred applications, bring it down to about 40, distill it further, present it to the selection committee. They dedicate the hours, and we pick these 6 companies that you've seen today. We work with them for the first week. We extract words from the vocabulary like credit union, make sure they understand how community banks work. And then we truly accelerate them to market. They have an opportunity working in a highly collaborative environment. This isn't about a sales pitch, right? We've been very careful to protect that environment. I always suggest it's a little bit of like, because clearly you're interested in your business. But given the opportunity for our bankers and these fintechs to work together, to work collaboratively and to be able to shape, mold, and sculpt those solutions together is what it's all about. So they sit for 30 minutes. You see 6 companies during the course of a visit. You spend 30 minutes with each of them. Problem, solution, demonstration, feedback. And over the course of 10 weeks, they'll talk to over 200 bankers. And that's the difference that we make here. That's true acceleration, and that's really molding these for community banking. Hopefully they get some deals done. They put a lot of time into this. And lastly, we try to support our alumni the best that we can. We do this very deliberately. We collect data on these companies. We survey the bankers as they participate. We evaluate what you think about pricing. How does the value proposition land with you? Is there clarity on how this integrates into your stack and into your banks? Excuse me. I ate at the sink for lunch today. I think you guys understand. Presentation quality, and ultimately the relevance of the product. And then we look at how they reflect in terms of what does the audience think of these companies. We collect data on that. We look at their interest level and how they overall perform. And this is important. It's important for us from the standpoint of considering investment and how much we want to continue to dedicate to putting into this company to participate in community banking. There are a number of other ways to engage, not trying to turn this into an ICBA commercial, but I think it's important because you can do this for free, right? We have great thought leadership. The accelerator I've talked to you about. We have additional innovation programming that's extraordinary. We have lots of strategic solutions in the 250 and the corporate members, as well as the 26 preferred service providers that we have today. And also we have ICBA Ventures, which helps to fund some of these companies. Will make some investments and so forth. So at the end, really the value that we deliver is to help turn innovation into something that's usable and relevant for community banking. To give you a path, as I mentioned earlier, it starts with helping you be able to make better decisions, to bring more relevant solutions to you, to be able to rise above the noise and give you what you're going to see today, which are 6 extraordinary companies. The other thing too is these guys, well, they're really growth stage companies. They're not necessarily startups. They aren't proving concept. They're proving value. You have founders here who have done this before. They've done good capital raise. They're well funded. Their due diligence is clean. They have customers in the marketplace. You know, I have an expression that I use often, which is community banks love to be first or be third, right? Mike and I talked about this morning, but we don't want to be eighth, right? So part of what we try to do is to ensure that when we bring them to you, that they are somewhat of a proven entity. Lastly, you know, in this day and age that we're living in with all these challenges, this high tech needs high touch, and we're here to help you on that journey. So with that, let me bring Pierce Sloan up here. Oops, something happened there, Pierce. Here we go. Pierce is Vice President of Innovation Programs, and he's going to walk you through the next hour or so with the cohort and the great work that they're doing. Thank you all, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Wayne. Good afternoon, everyone joining us here at GSBC, and hello to our bankers joining us on Zoom. My name is Pierce Sloan, and I'm the Vice President of Innovation Programs here at ICBA, and I'm super excited to be your host today. Over the next hour, You will hear from 6 growth stage companies that make up our 11th cohort. Each pitch will last about 5 minutes. And at the end of the presentations today, the audience, both live and virtual, will have the opportunity to vote for our Banker's Choice Award, defined as the most impactful solution helping community banks thrive today. We'll also end our showcase announcing the program's MVP, our most valuable participant, defined as the company who has not only seen success the past 10 weeks, but has also gone the extra mile from a participation perspective. Many of our presenters will have QR codes in their slides with their contact information, landing pages, and follow-up links. So we highly encourage you guys to be interactive today. Now let's get the show on the road. First up, we have Eric Hilaire, founder and CEO of VaultRight.
Hey, good afternoon. Thank you all. Excited to be here. My name is Eric Hilaire, founder and CEO of VaultRight. Really exciting for me to be here, a room full of bankers. Prior to VaultRight, I had a 25-year banking career. Like some of you, started out as a branch manager, all the way to COO, and I had every job in between. But my entire career, though, all very retail banking focused, all branch operations focused. So, of course, that's what we're going to talk about today. And this is what the current state of branch operations looks like. We work with banks of all shapes and all sizes from coast to coast. And this is a hodgepodge of all these manual processes and procedures that have been cobbled together over many, many decades. Tons of paper logs and manual processes tracking cash and checking the night drop, safe deposit, all those things, crazy all clear signals, how we track key and combination, inventory, issuance history. It's just crazy. And there's got to be a better way to do all these things. And that's where VaultRight comes in. VaultRight is a single platform designed to help you run your branches more effectively and more efficiently. We take all those manual crazy processes and we put them all into one platform. We're a mobile first solution, but we also have banks that run us on a bank-owned tablet or iPad or directly on the web through a browser, through any on a laptop or a computer. Today, I'm going to have a chance to kind of briefly highlight 3 of our core features using mobile. I'll talk briefly about emergency notifications and audit management. Those live in our leadership portal. But I'm going to go and log into mobile using biometrics. We can do single sign-on as well. And I'm going to automatically be logged into the downtown branch. We're doing that based off the employee's geofence. We do that for a couple of reasons: prevents hourly employees from using VaultRight when they're not at work. Also, make sure that they're logging things at the correct place. You also notice that clearance needed banner at the top. That means I'm the first employee that arrived for the day, and I need to set the all clear process to let everyone know that it's safe to enter. So I'll select that banner, and I'm going to hold my thumb down on my mobile device. And while I'm doing the sweep, I can keep my thumb held down on the device, but if my thumb comes off, a countdown timer is going to start. And when that countdown timer reaches 0, or if I request help, we're automatically going to trigger an emergency with your alarm company. I can put my thumb back on the device. So maybe I was just disarming the alarm. I need to put my coffee down. So I put my thumb back on at any point in time, continue my sweep. But when I'm done and everything is safe and I feel like the branch is safe for everyone else to enter, I'll hit all clear, and VaultRight will send an automated text message to all the employees that work at that branch location, letting them know that it's safe to enter for the day. Then VaultRight's going to bring me back to the main screen. And these are all the clipboards, forms. These are all the manual procedures that you see that live in those binders and clipboards today in the branch. For today's demo, we're going to do a night drop transaction because that's a very common one. All these workflows too are highly, highly configurable. Every bank sends us copies of their process, their forms, their procedures, and we'll build a version that's tailored to them. So in this example, the bank wanted to know if there was any drops, whether they're from an individual or business, or if there was none at all. So we'll select business and say that we had one drop from a business. It'll pre-populate my most common night drop customers because they usually are routine. So let's just say this one's from Coffee House. This bank wants to know the last 4 digits of the account number. Again, these are all the types of things that are highly configurable. And let's just say me and my dual control person, we open the bag, there's $1,050 in cash. We count the cash, we confirm that all is correct. We hit next. Every transaction in VaultRight will end on this review entry screen. And that gives me an opportunity to check to make sure that everything we did was correct. If I had more night drop bags, I could click add, but let's just say there was one, we'll hit confirm. And then a list of eligible employees that I could possibly be in dual control with appears. So let's just say it was Adam and I checking the night drop this morning. So I'll select Adam. And then Adam can sign with me in one of 2 ways. We can generate a one-time use QR code that only Adam's device can scan, or we can select PIN and Adam would come over to my computer, or I would hand Adam my mobile device. Adam would enter his PIN to sign, and then that transaction is going to log to our leadership portal in real time with those date and timestamp showing that Adam and Eric were together. We did that transaction in dual control. We were in the same proximity, and that all gets logged to our leadership portal. Also, I'll touch base on the digital key box. Vaultright will become your key and combination inventory management system. We've got great reporting and tracking in the leadership portal. If I can quickly just log into the branch and see what keys and combinations exist in the branch, I can click in and see who has access to what. I can issue keys and combinations from this screen as well. This is also very helpful. I can toggle over and do a view by employee. This is really helpful. We're running our branches with leaner teams now. So maybe I'm helping out at the downtown branch. I don't remember what my night drop combination is. They issued it to me 6 months ago and I'm never there. I can quickly retrieve that in the Vaultright app as well. I won't have time to talk about emergency notifications or audit management. Emergency notifications allow a member of leadership to go in and craft a custom message and send it out simultaneously via text, email, and push notification. We're seeing our clients use that as part of their disaster recovery programs. And then reporting and audit management, what that does is that takes all the routine tasks that branches are responsible to do monthly, weekly, quarterly, annually. We build all those processes in the Vaultright and then it puts it all in automation, sends reminders, escalates things that gets missed to leadership, et cetera. We're live in hundreds of branches, coast to coast already. We're hearing great feedback, great success. It's a very affordable product, $199 per branch per month. Volume discounts can apply. $500 one-time setup fee to handle all that customization. Feel free to scan that QR code for a 1-hour demo or track me down for more information, and appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Up next, Praveen Mamadi, founder and CEO of Clocks AI.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you all. Thank you for joining today's session. My name is Praveen Mamadi. I started my career at BlackBerry, and then I spent time at PayPal. I spent 15 years at PayPal and eBay building risk, fraud, and compliance models. I've also worked at other startups. Before going any further, let me ask you all a few questions. You're all bankers, right? Do you all recognize these documents? Okay, I see a lot of nods. That's good. How about these? One more last. About these. I don't know how many of you all noticed. Everything that I showed you in the second slide, these are all tampered. Like you can see Chase, very clear, misspelled with a C instead of S, and others, some minor changes. And if you haven't recognized this, you are not alone. And with hundreds and hundreds of documents that you and your team process every day, this is very common, and it's very difficult to detect using human eyes, right? And this set of documents, they look legit, they look clean, the data looks clean and everything, but these are not even real documents. They are AI generated. And this is a problem that we are seeing in the industry today. It takes a couple of minutes to generate any kind of document, be it identity, tax, financial, or anything. You don't need Photoshop expertise. You don't need any kind of image editing expertise. All you need is $20 subscription to one of the models and a few minutes of your time, and then just get creative on what fraud you want to do. This alone has caused 1,200% increase in fraud in last 1 year. Right? And not just BNY, but many other research firms are confirming this. And unfortunately for all of us in this group, this is not going to stop. This is going to continue to grow because models are getting cheaper, faster, and better. And fraudsters are, for fraudsters, it has become very easy. Now, how do you solve? How do you defend this? Very easy. Start using Clocks. We at Clocks are building a platform, a document intelligence platform that detects any AI-generated, AI-manipulated, or any kind of tampered documents while automating workflows. And we took the approach of fighting AI with AI. So we have created our own advanced computer vision models to detect some of these changes. I'll give you a little bit of details. And next, I'm going to show you a quick demo. This demo is like it's a 1-minute demo. It's going to run pretty fast. But you can see that I'm using Google Gemini here. And all you need to create a document is just one line prompt. I just use create a W2 with some random amount in random location, and it created this. And with few prompts, we can edit and you can create it. Let me run the demo. Now you can see this is the first version of the prompt, and the social security number is XXX. And then I just asked it to change it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now you can see It adopted the prompt, font, color, spacing, and everything, and it generated the next one, right? And now when you upload this into our platform, we scan the document, we look at multiple different factors, and then we identify if it is real versus AI. And then we extract all the information, because we not only use the vision models, we also look at the data, we look at the templates and everything, right? This is one of the document. And we send it back to any existing tools that you have. You don't need to depend on our website itself. This is another classic example where people used Photoshop. And in those cases, we identify the fraud and we also give you the evidence back. And other things that we do is when it comes to automation, we give you this tool where you can define all the rules and conditions for all the products that you serve. And when you submit documents like 2,500, 200 documents, we actually run it through our fraud detection and run it through our workflow management and give you this view wherein it tells you how many fraudulent documents are there. Or did you get all the documents that you needed for a loan or for onboarding or for any others? And then we also do cross-validation and give you the details of, does the data match in all the documents or not? To go a little bit inside, this is a W-2. And I changed the contents of the W-2. If you notice I changed the name April Hensley. Now, when you run it through advanced vision models, this is how a document would look like. Think of it as like X-ray or MRI vision. Now pay attention to the area where we change the name. This is the first one, the clean document. And now look at this one. This is the first one, the second one. You see the brightness is different in the area where we touched. A human eye can't see all of those, but underneath, the pixel brightness is changed. And there are many other things that gets changed that you can determine using AI. We do this for driver's license, ID cards, and pay stubs, utility bills, or any other kind of documents. We are just building a solution for check fraud as well, and especially wash checks and others, to help all the community banks with proof of burden issue that you're all having today. You can use a standalone, or we connect to any of the existing tools that you have, POS or LOS systems. You could use us for lending, onboarding, or digitizing any of your document workflows, or any document-heavy compliance and other use cases that you have. For ICBA members, we have attractive pricing. We can definitely talk about that. We are already live with customers, and we were TechCrunch top 200 companies last year, and we are also part of ICBA and other programs like Mass Challenge. We can do a complimentary pilot where you can run to a couple hundred documents through our platform and see for yourself, if you have any fraudulent documents, any AI-generated documents that you haven't recognized. Right? Please contact me using my number. And if you think fraud is going to be a problem, you should vote for us.
Thank you, Praveen. Up next, Austin Carroll, founder and CEO of Warrant.
Hi, everyone. My name is Austin Carroll. I'm the CEO and founder of Warrant. Super excited to chat with you guys today because I'm introducing you to your bank's new single source of truth. But before we talk about that, I have a question for you guys. If mortgage rates drop today, how many of your banks could put out a marketing campaign today? No one. What about a social post? That's what we're going to help. That's what we're going to solve today. The reason why your community banks can't do that is what happens is maybe Sarah in marketing, she comes out with a brilliant refinancing campaign. It needs to go live today to take advantage of the rate drop. But then it goes to compliance. They spend the next 4 weeks going back and forth on which disclosures to use and which regulations apply. And by the end of the day, they've lost the opportunity. Millions of dollars of loan volume just walked out the door and went to your competitors. And that's why, your record keeping, it really starts to look like this. Because when you're doing a manual approval process, every single one of your documents says final version 1, final version 2, final version 3, final version as an Excel, final version as a PDF. Now, I don't know about you, but if the regulator in the back of the room asked me what was the final version that went out to our customers, I probably couldn't answer. And that's because it all depends on one compliance officer. They know exactly which one of those documents went out the door, but we don't. So that means when they retire or when they quit, all of that information, that institutional knowledge of what you sent out to your customers, what you marketed last year, what social posts went out, it all walks out the door of your bank. Warrant is your continuity plan. Compliance stops living in one person's head, and instead, Warrant is really an operating trail or an audit trail for your documents. We do that in 3 ways. The first way is that we eliminate all of that back and forth. That 4 weeks of approval is gone because, of course, we use AI, of course. We use AI to review any type of document or marketing material. We review it against the regulations that apply to your bank, the disclosures that your bank wants to use, and we give marketing that instant review. That means for that mortgage rate campaign that needs to go out today, Sarah in marketing knows immediately what she needs to change to get that approved. Then they can get that approved by compliance within Warrant. And every version, every approval trail, every substantiation is searchable in one platform. All of your documents in one place. You no longer have to worry about what went out and what was final version number 4. It's really your new compliance foundation. Really quickly, gonna show you the platform. Don't worry, you are not supposed to really see this. I'm happy to walk you through a demo later. But what you're seeing here is Sarah is getting that instant marketing review. She gets a full report card. She gets a compliance score on how compliant this is at your bank and your organization, and she knows exactly what's to change. Sarah obviously doesn't do that well because she has a lot of flags here. Hopefully your marketing team would have a lot less. Then when compliance goes and approves it, they can see every version history of that document, and then they also get a scan. They can see all of the regulatory things that they need to make a decision on. As I like to say, compliance is an art, not a science. And then they can very quickly approve that marketing campaign. So you can actually send out that mortgage ad campaign same day, and that everything is tracked in one activity log. And then when a regulator comes in and they want to see every single piece of content that says the word banking over the last year in your state, you can pull that as I just did in 5 seconds. And if someone walks into a bank and asks about the puppy ad, you can find it. There it is in 2 seconds. Warrant is really changing the game for how everyone in your bank can get on the same page, know exactly what you're communicating to your customers. And that's really important because, as Wayne said, fintechs are marketing to your customers. It's not just that only 4 or 5 community banks could get out that refinancing campaign today. It's that the fintechs already put it out. Rocket Mortgage tracks the Fed's interest rates like crazy and puts out campaigns on that same day. We also have to consider a future where regulators themselves are going to start using AI to audit your websites, your social posts, and manual processes are just not ready for this new era. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this is the perfect thing to post on LinkedIn, but a lot of you won't be able to because you're not allowed. We do social media posts as well. We already work with a top 5 bank. What we're trying to do with Warrant is really allow you to grow your bank, but do so compliantly and minimize that risk. We do have a free SEO webinar next week where we talk about how your bank can show up in search results. But I do just want to talk to you guys and just say, hey, we want to help you with your marketing compliance. Please let us know if we can help. Even if you just want to talk about how can we show up in search results, we are here for you. Please vote for us if you think growth is important. If not, that's okay too, but would love to help you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. Up next, Mark Lucier, VP of Growth from Fingoal.
Thanks, Pierce. I am Mark Lucier, VP of Growth of Fingoal. We are based about 10 miles down the road in Lafayette, Colorado. A little bit of a home game for me today. We are in the business of turning transaction data into customer insights that allow you to double your cross-sell conversions. We've been in business for 7 years. We have about 150 customers. And we see over 150 million transactions every week through our engine. Let me show you how that works. So it all starts out with that messy core data. Talking ACH, debit, checking, DDA, loan. If you have access to your credit card data, we'd love that as well. What we do is we clean it up. If we don't, we have a garbage in, garbage out problem. Also, this clean data is great for doing your business intelligence and research projects as well. But what we're best known for are these customer insights. So I'm going to tell you a story about a customer, Ada, at Oakstar Bank. This is Ada's retail checking account. You see she's got her Disney Plus subscription for the family. She got a sandwich for lunch at Jimmy John's, and she even got a camping reservation for the end of the summer. If you look a little closer, though, you see that she has 2 large purchases at Restaurant Depot. She has a GoDaddy and Wix subscription that hit her account that day. And she also has some Toast income coming in, food services, point of sale. Ada is running a food truck out of her retail checking account. And there's nothing illegal with that, right? But there's missed opportunities on both sides. Ada's missing out on leveraging Oakstar Bank's business products and services. The bank, however, probably the bigger missed opportunity, because you can bet Toast is texting, calling, and emailing Ada every day. They're the ones who are offering her that business line of credit to grow her business. They're the one offering the business card. And they're saying, while you're at it, why don't you move that income over into your Toast business checking account, which is backed by a Bass Bank in Maine. And so what we've learned in these 7 years is that your customers aren't leaving the bank because of the products and services you offer. They're leaving because someone with a larger marketing budget is in front of their face. It's the Toast, the Stripe, the Square. It's the Chimes who are all over those World Cup games, right? And so what we do is we're trying to help you combat that by giving you customer-based insights. We're trying to help you understand who the customer is, what are their hobbies, what are their preferences, and then also what are their external relationships? Who are your regional competitors that they're also sending deposits to? Who's in the family? Humans, pets. But at the end of the day, we're giving you these prepackaged opportunities or these prepackaged audiences, subsets of your customer base, so you can engage with them to have that meaningful conversation. And so you probably think I'm now going to turn on a demo, but we don't have a user interface. We're what you might call in product headless. This is all happening behind the scenes. Instead, we plug in with the tools that your teams are already using. We plug in with the CRMs like a HubSpot and Salesforce. We plug in with business intelligence like Clarivis and Verus AI. Digital banking, we have plugins. Marketing automation, we have plugins. And your data warehouse and database solutions. There are 8 logos up here. We have 24 pre-built integrations. Very popular in Community Bank, Constant Contact, and MailChimp. So when your marketing team comes in to run that campaign, to target those individuals that are using their retail checking account for their small business, we've already appended those tags to those customers. Marketing can come in, they can select that audience. They do the same exact work, the same exact campaign generation they do every day. But now that communication is going out to a subset of your customer base, the people that actually are in the market or maybe don't know they need the product that you offer. And this is personalization, and this is what doubles conversion rates. It's the emotional connection to the customer. They appreciate what you're doing for them as their community bank. And it does so much that our customers are seeing ROI based on those first 90 days. They're doubling products, sometimes tripling, sometimes gangbusters, 32 new products when they had to the prior quarter. And so we've created a very flexible pricing model for community banks so that ROI makes sense and the returns keep coming after you've paid off the FinGoal license. There's my QR code, and please vote for FinGoal. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mark. All right. Up next, Giordana Perez, Customer Engagement Strategist from Swaystack.
Yeah, thank you all so much for being here. Swaystack is here to help you win the primary relationship, not just the loan. So as we've been talking to countless community banks here at the ICBA Accelerator, we've been hearing one common theme. You're winning the commercial loan, a relationship that's built on rates and term, but you're really struggling to earn those deposit relationships, both on the business side as well as on the retail side. Switching a business account is nearly impossible. Businesses are really struggling to move over their funding, their income sources, their payroll so that they're able to send over their paycheck to their employees on time, their accounts receivable to their clients, and their accounts payable to their vendors. We're at a time crunch ourselves because we really believe we have 7 days to help a business gain momentum switching over in order to really achieve that 95% higher lifetime value. And if you were to put this all together, it would cost you way more than you think. You'd need both a business and retail account switching tool, as well as a marketing automation system to really drive that engagement. But at the end of the day, we don't really think you'd be truly happy, as you'd end up with many different point solutions, none of them which are really talking to each other, let alone guiding that customer through a unified onboarding journey. That's where SwayStack comes in. We have 3 different products. First, our business onboard, which we'll get to in the demo shortly, where your customer is able to move over their old bank account over to their new business account. Our retail onboarding solution, where your retail customer is able to move over their primary banking relationship. And finally, our enterprise engagement platform, where you're going to be targeting the right customers with the right actions at the right time. So today we're going to be going over SwayStack's business onboarding solution, where we're first going to be connecting an external account, and from there, SwayStack is going to take over and configure that switch process. So let's get started with the demo. When your business customer logs into digital banking, they're greeted with a call to action to finish setting up their account. From there, we walk them through connecting an external institution in order to bring over things like their funding, their income sources, and their payroll, as well as any monthly transactions that they may have. So when we start the switch, first we connect over their old bank account. In this case, it was one bank, moving over to Mercury, and we pull 120 days of transaction data to really guide that switch. From there, we're able to extract things such as their income sources. If we click in, we see that they were with Stripe, Venmo, Square, which we can pull. As for payroll providers, they were with Gusto. Some of their clients, we want to notify about the new account number. And then finally, we want to move on. So I think one of the biggest concerns when a business switches over is to make sure that they don't overdraw that old bank account in the first place. So we recommend leaving up to 2 months of payroll and 2 months of payments in that old bank account and bringing over roughly 167,000 out of those 244 total. So they're able to successfully fund that account and move over with the switch process. So now moving over some of those income sources. With Stripe, for example, we do have a direct API with them, so they're able to quickly log in and move that over. Moving on to clients, we want to notify them about the new business account number, so they're able to pop in the email address and it'll send them a link. Now their payroll, I think one of the payroll is the biggest ones because we've seen that those accounts with payroll attached to them have 10x more deposits as those without. And finally, we want to move over to those recurring monthly payments. In this case, it's an e-commerce business, so we'll see many monthly expenses such as Xero, Facebook ads, and Bill.com in this case. They quickly log in, and that, again, is switched over. So why are community banks like yours choosing SwayStack? Well, we're the only solution in the market that offers both a business and retail account switching solution in one platform. We embed right front and center into your digital banking. And all of this is happening through our enterprise engagement platform. As for pricing, our 3 different solutions can be bought separately or bundled for volume discounts. And implementation is very easy and lightweight on our end, taking up for it to be 90 days delivered. We're getting to market pretty quickly with 27 clients signed, 19 of them which are live and integrated into 5 digital banking platforms. So again, my name is Jordana here representing SwayStack. If you'd like to see this built around your institution, feel free to scan this QR code. And I'd love it if you could vote for me for Banker's Choice. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Giordana. And finally, we have Tylen Bichalkcic, co-founder and CEO of Payman AI.
Last one, y'all, and we're done. Not so bad, huh? Well, my name is Tylen. I'm co-founder and CEO of Payman, and we are in a law room here. So I'm going to present a case to you all today for why every single one of your banks will need an AI agent. We'll present it with evidence, and by the end of the case, hopefully you'll understand why Payman is the right partner for you. First piece of evidence. Today, your customers are going to ChatGPT and Claude to ask them things that they used to ask you. The relationship and those questions that you would answer from your customer are going elsewhere, and they're going there fast. Over 200 million people are asking ChatGPT personal finance questions every month. That number keeps growing and growing. And for the people that you serve in your communities, 55% of them are turning to AI to ask questions about money. Now, this isn't even the crazy number. The crazy number is this was about 5% last year. In the span of 1 year, people have started to trust AI more and more. This is great for y'all. You all have an incredible advantage here because you have something these model companies don't when it comes to winning in this space. You all have the trust of the customer more so than any model company in this space can ever have. Every single one of your customers will go on an AI journey. Whether they haven't started today or they will, what we ask is that you meet them on this journey. Because for us, it's not a question of whether or not people will bank through AI agents. It's on everyone in this room to decide one thing. Are you going to let this happen outside of your bank or inside of your bank? Are you going to let ChatGPT and Claude build the relationships with your customers and start to own that relationship and slowly disintermediate one of the core things that makes community banking, which is relationships? Or will you work with Payman to help bring this back inside of your bank, leverage the advantages that you already have, and make this the way that you battle in this next generation of relationship building? This is what Payman offers you. It's an AI agent for your bank that's completely under your control, that understands your customers, and better than Wells Fargo and Chase down the street, better than OpenAI and Claude, because it's built in your bank, it can do banking. And what we mean by that is not just, hey, what's my balance? Hey, make this report. That's really nice. But really, maybe I'm a commercial customer and I need to pay all my vendors for the month. I'm busy. I don't want to spend hours thinking about that. Hey, AI agent, can you do that for me? This is a great way to go out and acquire and compete with the Ramps and the Brexes of the world by providing a solution that, quite frankly, outdoes them. For your retail customers, maybe I need to go out and pay my nanny or send a Zelle. I can just tell my AI agent to do that. The same experience you get when you go out and talk to a teller at the branch, you can provide this online and digitally so that you can compete. Done talking about it. Well, not actually, I'll talk through this video, but I'll show you all how this looks. The first thing you'll notice is you don't see Payman anywhere. This is by design. We white label your AI agent to your brand and embed it in your online banking. The next thing, this is a totally immersive AI experience that rivals that of what ChatGPT and Claude offer. This helps with engagement. Let's run through one of these intents. Pay all my upcoming vendors for the month. What you'll notice is that you can see how the AI is thinking about actually going out and completing this request. This AI is going to find my 5 bills that I have using my previous transaction history. It's going to see, do I have enough money? And most importantly, when it does this work for me, it's actually going to go out and do something very important. It's going to request a one-time password from the human to say, hey, I've done this work. Do you approve this? This is what banking looks like when you do it agentically and how you can better serve the customer. What this AI agent will then do is initiate these payments through your existing payment rails. None of your policies change. All of the procedures are respected. And this AI has just helped save hours of work. And most importantly, like a great banker, it's going to go out and it's going to ask the customer, based on the context of the conversation, how more can I help you with? You're over here talking about month-end push. Do you need a receipt for these PDFs? Do you need financial help? This is engagement. This is keeping them here. And this is helping your customer in this next wave. We're already deployed with banks all across the country, ranging from 250 million in asset size up to 4 billion and plus. We've been selling for 4 months and we have over 40 banks in the pipeline ready to rock and roll with this. We're not just some AI company that started last year. We've been the pioneers in this space for 2.5 years. We've raised over $13 million to figure out how do you trust AI with money. And we were Visa's earliest investment they ever made to make this happen. Our team has decades of experience making banking work, making AI powerful, and making it valuable for consumers. And with that, I rest my case. I hope you all enjoyed this. All I would say is we would love to build your agent together. We would love for you to vote for us. And we would love to grab beers with you after. Thank you.
Thank you, Tylen. All right, everyone, let's give them another round of applause. Thank you, thank you. Now I'm happy to introduce and bring to the stage Justin Dunmeyer, SVP of Innovation and Product Strategy.
Thank you, Pierce. I think, we all know that technology acceleration is one of the most significant challenges our industry is facing right now. And the companies we just heard from today, they have poured themselves into building solutions for that problem, right? They're here, they're ready to work with you, help you with your problems, help evaluate new opportunities. So now it's your turn to cast your vote. So here in a moment here, we're going to pull up a QR code. Go ahead and scan that code. And what you're voting for here is the Banker's Choice Award. So this award goes to the company that you think most helps community banks flourish, right? So who do you think is going to really help you the most? I'm glad to see a lot of phones out here scanning QR codes. We've done a lot of that today. So I'm going to give you guys about a minute here to cast that vote, and we'll get to the next fun part. Is it working for others? Yeah. There you go. Tap on the poll. All right, I'm still seeing a few phones up. We'll give you about 30 more seconds here. All right, as we wrap up voting here, we're going to start tallying the results here. So just be patient. And as we do this, I want to just talk quickly to you about Innovation Workshop. The Innovation Workshop offered by ICBA is a 2-day workshop really built for innovation-minded bankers as well as senior leaders in community banks. It's built for those that want a disciplined approach to innovation, folks that want to be able to evaluate technology, make quick decisions, and really just improve the culture of innovation in your organization. In this workshop, participants will learn how to make smarter, faster technology decisions. We'll dive deep into third-party risk management. We know that keeps folks up at night sometimes. And they'll really just have an opportunity to connect with other bankers that are on this innovation journey together. For folks here today in the audience, both with us here in person as well as virtually, you all can get 50% off your registration for Innovation Workshop. So just scan that QR code, and you can certainly use that coupon code. Now, as we finish tallying the votes here, give us just a few more seconds. I would like to ask Wayne Miller, our Chief Innovation Officer, to join me here on stage here just for a second, and then we're going to move into presenting some awards. So if it's just another second. Wayne?
Good deal. All right. Thanks. Thank you, Justin. Do I need to change anything here? Oh, there we go. Mike, come on up. We've got a couple of our sponsors here with us today to help hand out these awards. And the first one we're going to give out is MVP. And this is most valuable participant. As Justin mentioned, these guys have spent the last 10 weeks really pouring themselves into this program, dedicating many hours per day, talking to hundreds of bankers over and over again and trying to validate what they're doing, to create opportunities, but also what I love about it is their dedication to community banking and the difference they're trying to make. Because, part of the tone of today is we know we have a competitive environment today and we got to be great at it. Some of these solutions are really good. So it's my pleasure to recognize Eric from VaultRite as our MVP. Get your speech prepared?
No, I did not. But thank you.
No, you're welcome. It's when you see what Eric does, and you guys got a 5-minute dose of it today. There's a lot more there, but obviously a banker who saw a problem that kept him up at night and developed a solution for it, and is doing incredibly well in the market with what he's doing. But this is infrastructure. This is back office stuff. This is managing paper. And, it's oftentimes the stuff that's perhaps a little bit less sexy that ultimately wins. And I think what you're doing is awesome, and we're thankful for that. And Mike, we also thank you for your sponsorship and supporting our program. And Eric, we wish you the best of luck and thanks for everything you've done and just being a great participant in this program and maximizing every opportunity. We're grateful to you. Thank you so much. Hey, Mike. Yeah. Brandon Oliver, get up here. So Fiserv is also a sponsor of our programming, so we're sort of nice to the course sometimes. But Samir couldn't be with us today, and BankTech is also one of our sponsors. So Brandon is currently enrolled as a first-year student here, so go on him hard. Brandon is an investor with BankTech, so he is doing the honors of presenting the Banker's Choice Award, which is who you guys just selected. So can we get a little drum roll here or something? All right, here we go. So I am pleased to ask Tylen and the team from Payman to come and take the Banker's Choice Award. All right, good deal. Well done, my friend. Awesome. Awesome. With every program that we run, we try to push the envelope a little bit. And this is where our team does have some influence in the decisions that are made, because we have to be courageous and we have to sometimes help our bankers think a little bit beyond perhaps where they would, get a little bit further out on the spear, look around corners a little bit. And Payman was really our choice for that solution this year. And we're grateful to you guys. You guys gave it 1,000%. Thank you so much. You're all winners as far as we're concerned. Obviously, you're all MVPs and you're all Banker's Choice. But these guys selected you today, and we're glad for that. And thank you for what you've done. And thank you for helping select them. I think it made a great choice. And Brandon, thanks for your help.
Thank you all.
Mike, I think we're done. All right. So, oh yeah, quick pictures. We got to do that. Right, sorry about that. All right. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your time and